Hello. Today was the second time that I was using artificial intelligence ChatGPT February 13 version. And earlier, that was a couple of days ago, was the very first time that I used it on my desktop. Quite frankly, I was curious. And curiosity is a good enough reason to see how the interaction proceeds. So today, I wanted to enter a very simple, very common question. Something that has been answered very thoroughly. And misinformation persists about this question exclusively in the realm of social networking. And why it persists in that particular environment is because social networking is where people who are fed the same set of misinformation can confirm to each other that they actually understand the issue better than others. So they can confirm to each other, and that confirmation is what subsists this group, and it continues to satisfy the individual members because they feel that the one using a particular set of information which has been proven to be wrong based on evidence is not the only one. There are others who very likely are fed from the same source of misinformation. Interestingly, also what they do is if you object to something, if you catch them in a lie, they will use different tactics. Either they will oversimplify something, they would exaggerate something, or use deviation, change the subject, or do whatever, just so that the lie that they're pushing can survive another day. So if you prove them wrong, they will move on to other lies which are part of the core beliefs. So by the time you have proven one thing wrong, and in science it takes time, they would have some other thing which you will have to then prove incorrect in its details. And once you've gone through a cycle of proving every single thing to be deviating from what they like to call the truth, and importantly, it should be mentioned that they're very conceptualizing of what the truth is foundationally incorrect. It does not harmonize with analytical or critical thinking. That's another phrase they're quite fond of using, that they are the researchers and the critical thinkers, when in fact their thinking is extremely superficial, and they have only bits and pieces or breadcrumbs of the totality of that knowledge. So, back to the question, are COVID mRNA vaccines safe and effective? As I said, I will put some screenshots. Let me read how artificial intelligence answers this. It says, yes, the COVID-19 mRNA vaccines have been shown to be safe and effective in large-scale clinical trials. Both the Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines are mRNA vaccines which work by using a small piece of the virus's genetic material to trigger an immune response in the body. This immune response can help protect against future infections by the virus. It goes on to give other details, but towards the conclusion of this very first part of the interaction, it says, it's important to note that while the vaccines are highly effective, no vaccine is 100% effective, and breakthrough infections are still possible. However, even in cases where vaccinated individuals do get infected, the vaccines have been shown to significantly reduce the risk of severe illness, hospitalization, and death. Compare this to misinformation, which is the polar opposite, that vaccines are causing severe illness, vaccines are causing hospitalizations, and vaccines are causing death. The difference is, on one hand, there's confirmed evidence, and on the other hand, there are stories and anecdotes, and as I said, mutual confirmation on social networking, which just goes on from today to tomorrow and the day after. So in the next part of the interaction, the good thing about artificial intelligence ChatGPT is that it considers whatever has been discussed that far in the discussion. So my next question was, can you please share some of the clinical trials data for the safety of Pfizer COVID vaccines? And the answer was, yes, I can provide some information about the safety of the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine based on the clinical trial data. And it mentions the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine underwent a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled phase 3 clinical trial involving more than 43,000 participants. Half of the participants received the vaccine, while the other half received a placebo. And it mentions the New England Journal of Medicine. Then it says in the last sentence of this part of the interaction, in December 2020, based on the clinical trial data, the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine received emergency use authorization from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and has since been administered to millions of people worldwide. Ongoing safety monitoring continues to support the vaccine's safety profile. So after reading all that, I asked one question: where can I find the article in the NEJM, that's the New England Journal of Medicine? And the answer came in a few seconds. The article about the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine clinical trial was published in the New England Journal of Medicine on December 31, 2020. And let me add that if you search using the keyword of the name of the vaccine, you will find a whole list of articles in the New England Journal of Medicine. But here, I only asked for that article, and it gives the link. It says, please note that access to the full text may require a subscription or payment. However, a summary of the study's findings is available for free on the website. And this was about time for me to finish this interaction, so I wrote, "Thank you. This was excellent by you." And the reply came back, "You're welcome. I'm glad that I could help. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask." So even in the artificial intelligence interactions, there is an understanding of civility and courtesy, which I find to be rather impressive. Besides, it is very precise, given the information that it relays, And here's where I ended the conversation. I just wrote down, nope, this will be all. And the final reply was, all right, take care and stay safe. So it is quite human in the way the interaction goes on, but I believe it also has a lot to do with the person interacting. And I was interacting with this ChatGPT as if I were in a communication with another human being. And the kind of responses I got were intelligent, factual, precise, and humane. So I was very satisfied with my experience. And it keeps a record of the conversation. So I had this conversation earlier, and I only had to open the tab. And I could go through the entire interaction, which took place within a few minutes. So I find this to be very useful. It's different from using a search engine, although a search engine could also do these things. But the ChatGPT feature does it in an interactive, communicative way, the way a search engine doesn't. Maybe in the future it will. We are very near the future that is already meant to be. So I'll upload this video. This was a nice experience for me. Thank you for your time. I'll see you on another occasion. Goodbye and take care.